Come up to stand. Just sense how it feels to stand here. So it's a pretty interesting thing, actually. As you stand here now, paying attention to how you stand, where is your attention? What does your attention do when you do something like paying attention to how you're standing? What do you notice? Do you notice your body? Or, your body in relationship to the environment that you're standing in? Or does your mind jump all over the place? Well, try to keep your mind in one place. Let's focus just on the length of your body, from your head down to your feet, without trying to correct anything, without trying to do anything, just to sense how you're standing here. And of course, it's pretty hard to keep the mind still. So even though your attention may be just on this feeling of your whole body standing, or this image of it, you could probably be aware of the different qualities of sensation through your body. You may have a sense that some parts of you are moving. You may feel some muscles adjusting, counterbalancing, as we sway. Because as you stand here, you'll probably notice that you're swaying. We're not still. And as our body swings forward, muscles at the back of our body tighten up a little bit and it pulls us back. And as we go back, then muscles at the front pull us forward. And it depends where that movement is occurring as to where we're going to feel those muscular compensations. So if you're feeling most of the movement for your swaying in the ankles, you may feel it in the back of your legs, in the front of the legs. You could notice that. What's the feeling in your knees and your hips? Does it feel that they're moving? Or if they're locked, of course, it won't really feel like they're moving. So think of unlocking your knees, of having the capacity to move in your knees. And the hips, just think of you have the capacity to bend in the hips. And, both legs, so that's, 6 joints now that can move and contribute to this postural adjustment, to this counterbalancing. So notice how that influences the quality of the way you sway and the sensations you feel through your body. And as we saw last week through that lesson on primary control, the most information that we receive about balance is in the inner ear. So it's related to that delicate balance of the head on top of your neck. Sense the way your head moves. It's a tiny, tiny movement, the most minuscule movement of the head on top of the spine, but it's the thing that really regulates your balance, because it contains the major organs of sense or the teleceptors, the eyes and the ears. So notice how you sway. And now, could you just notice the environment in which you stand? So spread your attention. So it now includes the way you're standing and also the environment that you're in. And could you try reaching your left leg forward? Reach your left leg forward. And just notice as you do that, how do you have to compensate? So come back again. Just keep doing that, reaching your leg forward and bringing it back. And notice what happens through the rest of your body to enable you to balance there. You know, if you keep it going forward, you keep moving the leg forward, and if you allow your pelvis to turn as well, so you reach out with the hip, it'll eventually take you forward. Try that now. Reach the leg forward and then allow the pelvis, the top of the pelvis, to move forward as well, and feel how the weight of that is enough to bring you forward. Try that with the other leg. Move your right leg forward. Just the leg first, and notice as you lift the leg forward, what other compensations or counterbalancing is going on through your body. And then reach forward with that side of the pelvis as well, and feel the way, you know, if you keep that going forward, eventually the weight of the leg and the pelvis will move you forward. Now go back to the right side, to the left leg. Move the left leg forward, but this time could you move your left arm behind you? Just do a small movement and notice that as you move the left arm and the left leg in opposite directions, they balance each other, or they influence each other. And in fact, could you extend that now to include the pelvis? So you reach forward with the left leg and the left side of your pelvis, and you reach back with the left arm and the left shoulder. And notice now when you do that, that even though your left hip is moving forward, you're not needing to go forward now. The left arm and shoulder will counterbalance it. Go slowly. Nice. Stop for a moment. Just rest there in standing. And now notice how it feels to stand. You know, your capacity to just still your attention. And now move the right leg forward and the right arm backward. Same thing on this side. Could you sense the connection between the two by considering the back of the leg? You know, the back of the leg right up to the top of the pelvis, and the back of the arm, back of the underarm, back of the shoulder, and get a sense as you reach forward with the right leg and back with the right arm, the connection between the two, and how the movement of the arm and the leg balance each other. Lovely. And then leave that, rest in the middle. Now notice how you stand. The sense of where your arms and legs are. Sense of where your head is. And the sense of the environment you're in. Even when you're looking straight ahead. In fact, just move the left leg forward again, looking straight ahead. And notice that with your peripheral vision, you can see the foot when it's about a footstep in front of you. And in fact, lift your arms out to the side, looking straight ahead, and notice that you can see your hands when the arms are outstretched. You can see right out to the side with your peripheral vision. And if you move your hands down, at the edge of the peripheral visual field, you move your hands in and out so you can see them and then can't see them, you can get a sense of the size of the visual field, this donut or kidney bean shaped field. And that as you stand looking straight ahead, what is the sense of your body and how it's organized within that visual field? Now turn yourself to the right. Your feet are still where they are, but your body can turn, and notice the visual field here. It's now extending right behind you. And still, notice the sense that you have right through the body of where your body is within the visual field. And then turn in the other direction. Look in this direction and notice you have this, you see behind you now, and you have the sense of where your body is in space, in your visual field. And come back to the middle, looking straight ahead. And there is the memory of the space behind us. Because it's so familiar, because we turn and we look into it, we reach into it, we do things in it. So walk now. Just walk and notice this visual space that we move in. And the sense of your body, the arm and leg on each side moving in opposition. Leg goes forward, arm goes back. And they notice the way they counterbalance each other. So, could you lie down on your back? Come and lie down on the floor. And just get a sense of how you settle. And notice now as you rest here, how you soften with each breath. And notice your eyes. Have your eyes closed. What are they doing? Are they still? Or are they moving about? Once again, don't change anything, allow everything to be just as it is, but observe so you can understand what's going on. Is there a difference between each eye? Does one feel different to the other one, or seem to move more? Do they feel the same size and shape? And when you think of your eyes, what do you include? Is it just the eyeballs? Or are the eyelids a part of the eyes? Or the bony sockets that the eyes sit within? And the optic nerve, which extends out the back of the eye, is certainly part of the eye. And perhaps so too are the parts of the brain, at the back of the brain that is involved in vision. Just be aware of the entire visual apparatus. And maybe notice the rhythm of your breath. Perhaps the sensation of your eyes is moving, changing. And your breath is coming in through your nose. It passes directly beneath the eyes, as if it's cooling your eyes down. Right out wide, the top of the back of the nose, the cheekbones there. And could you roll your right leg and your right arm in and out? Roll your right leg and your right arm in and out. And with your eyes closed, notice what happens in your eyes when you move your arm and your leg. In fact, stop, leave the arm and the leg. Notice your eyes. And then paying attention to anything that may happen in your eyes, once again move the right arm and the right leg. Do they want to move, or are they pushing over to a particular place to participate in that movement? Or do they remain still? Believe that for a moment. Sense your visual field, the entire visual field with your eyes closed, peripheral visual field. And so that can extend out to infinity with your eyes closed. And notice the sense of your body within that visual field. So keep looking straight ahead. And once again, move your right arm and leg. Roll the right arm and right leg in and out easily. And sense it, the sense of your body within the visual field, how it's oriented within the visual field. Can you move your arm and leg and maintain a stillness of focus with your eyes? And the interesting thing is that if it isn't possible to do that, if your eyes tend to wobble a little bit, or your focus moves somewhere, what's happening? What causes that? Probably something through the rest of your body. Well, leave the movement of the arm and leg. Just lie there in stillness. And that's a relative thing, isn't it, in stillness? Because beneath the surface of our conscious awareness, there's all this stuff going on all the time. It's only when we spread our attention and start looking for it that we find it. So could we try this? Could you go to draw the right leg out to the side, as if you're going to draw it right out to the side, but don't actually move it all the way. So, you keep the connection of the skin of the foot with the floor, but you begin to turn the right leg out and to lift it a little bit. And feel as you do that, so the leg is staying where it is essentially. It's rolling out a little bit, but the skin of the foot is staying on the floor. But you're nevertheless beginning to lift the skeleton, lift the leg. And as you do that, notice what you feel in the right hip. When you begin to lift the leg and just, the bones begin to lift, it's a very gradual movement because the skin of the foot is still on the ground. But, nevertheless, feel the way the right side of your pelvis presses into the floor. And do it once and then stop and come back to stillness. And then do it again. So you can really feel what is happening through the rest of your body. You make this very small movement, lifting the right leg, and the right side of your pelvis presses into the floor. And then the rest of the skeleton moves. Because as the right side of your pelvis presses into the floor, well, maybe that's making your lower back lift. And as the lower back arches, that's drawing the rib cage down. And, as the lower back arches and the rib cage is drawn down, it's probably making your neck flatten in toward the floor. And if that's happening, it's probably drawing your head down. So have a bit of space in between each movement so you can create the stillness that enables you to really tune in and feel what happens right through your body, how the whole skeleton is moving. And the skin is still on the ground of the foot and in your back, pelvis and your head. But can you feel the way your skeleton is sliding around within the suit of skin? Both when you lift the leg and then when you let it come back down. And notice even through, the left side, it's being influenced too. Right through the left leg. How the skeleton slides around in the suit of skin. And probably even in your arms and your hands. And that's an interesting thing with the arms and the hands, because they're probably just lying there. That means your arms and your shoulder girdle, but the rib cage is sliding on top of the shoulder blades. We'll leave that now. Just rest there. Now, could you do the same thing with the left leg? Go to lift it. So you actually feel the left leg, the weight beginning to lift from the leg, but the skin of the foot is still in contact with the floor. The knee might bend a little bit, but the leg stays where it is, but you're lifting and you feel the pressure change on the left side of your pelvis. And when the left side of your pelvis presses into the floor, it probably means your lower back lifts. Which is the spine. So as the lower back lifts, the rib cage is drawn down, pulls down toward the pelvis, and the neck flattens a little bit. Lower back lifts, the lumbar spine lifts, and the neck flattens toward the floor. And your head rolls down. And of course it'll be easy to feel on the right because we've already developed that much awareness there. But this time, and you have a little bit of stillness in between each movement so that you can really feel the movement. And this time, could you notice your visual field? So be aware of the entire peripheral visual field with your eyes closed as you're just going to lift this left leg. So you're sensing the way your body is oriented within the visual field. And now, rest there. Now, you could alternate from side to side. Go to lift the right leg, and then go to lift the left leg. And now, keep your gaze straight ahead with your eyes closed. Each time you do one movement, you do it, then you stop and relax. Then do the other side. And just notice now your capacity to maintain the stillness of focus. You know, has that become easier now we've involved more of you in the movement? Well, you could begin to draw the leg out. Draw one leg out to the side and then lift it up to stand. And then draw the other leg out to the side and then bring the knee up to stand. And then go down. So alternate one leg at a time, letting it go long, and then the other one, and then bring them up one at a time, and noticing the movement of your skeleton within the suit of skin. You know, spread your attention through your body. So notice if there's anywhere where you're bracing yourself or trying hard to do the movement, and soften there, you know, particularly in your rib cage or your face. You know, so you can really just sense the way when you lift, you know, you move your leg, how it actually, you know, increases the pressure on that hip, and how the whole body is influenced by that. And then looking straight ahead, but being aware of the entire visual field. As if you're some sort of martial arts superhero, you know, floating in space. You can leap into the air and lift your knees up and then come back down and still maintain this stillness of focus. Well, leave that. You could have your knees up and just rest there with your feet on the floor and your knees standing. Have your hands palms down by your side, and just feel the whole palm, each of the fingers on the floor. Sense of your forearms and elbows, and back of the arms and the back of the underarms. The movement of your breath. And now could you slide the heel of the hand side to side? See, you know, you're pivoting on the middle finger. The elbow is staying where it is. It's a very easy movement. Side to side. And notice what happens in your eyes when you do that. And sense the movement, right? The feeling right through your arm as you're moving the heels of the hands side to side. Through the inside and outside of the elbow, the inside and outside of the shoulder girdle. The back and the front of the underarm, the underside of the shoulder girdle. As you're doing this very small movement with the heels of the hands, what do you feel? The back of the underarm. All those muscles that connect into the shoulder blade. And down onto the ribs and then into the back of the pelvis. In fact, could you move the heels side to side? Move the heels side to side. So you're pivoting on the front of the foot. So it's the heels of the hands and the heels of the foot going side to side. And feel that on the back of the underarm and the back of the legs. And once again, bring your attention to the stillness of your gaze forward. And this sense of the peripheral visual field. As if you're floating in the air doing this. And of course it makes it much easier if you do it in time with your breath. So you move the heels of the hands and feet in one direction as you breathe in, and in the other direction as you breathe out. You don't have to do it every time. Do it so it's really easy. So you can minimize the amount of effort in your body. And you can maintain the stillness of focus. So could you sort of walk your hands and your feet out and in by pressing down on the heels and moving the front of the hand and foot, and then pressing down on the front of the foot and hand and moving the heels. Just walk them in and out. But a small movement. Find what needs to happen for you to be able to do this so that you could still keep the visual focus still. You had time to soften between the shoulder blades. And it's curious, notice what's happening through your body in order to coordinate this movement between the hands and the feet, between the arms and the legs. Well, leave that. Let your arms and legs be long. And just move your eyes from side to side. Just a comfortable distance. A lazy movement. And notice the path your eyes take. Is it a straight line, or is it wobbly, or an arc? And consider it relative to your body. How do they move? Relative to your feet and your head. When you move your eyes over to one side, does it move closer down toward the feet? And on the other side, closer to your head? Or is it right in the middle? And is it a smooth movement, or does it feel jerky? Well, have your arms palm down, hands palm down by your side, and walk your hands out to the side. So you move the fingers out, and you press the fingers in, you move the heels of the hands out, you press the heels down, and you move the fingers out. Walk them out to the side, and move your eyes, and then walk them back in again. Move your eyes side to side with each movement of the hand. And notice the quality of the movement. How do you move your eyes? Is this the gentle movement of your eyes that you do when you're looking at something that you know is working well? Or is it the quick, hurried movement of the eyes when you think there's something that's wrong that needs attending to? Well, slow it right down. Slow the movement right down. So this is an easy movement. It doesn't matter how it goes. There's no right way of doing this. You just do it in your way. So, take your time and just observe what you're doing. And move your eyes slowly so you can see. So you can really tune in to the quality of the movement. And then leave your arms out at shoulder height. You'd have your palms up. And just rest there. Probably have a different sense of your body on the floor now. Maybe a different sense of your breath. And then once again, draw the knees out to the side and and place one foot on the floor, then the other, so your knees are up, feet on the floor. And now do the same thing here with your feet. Walk your feet out and follow with your eyes. Just a comfortable distance. It may not be very far, but that's fine. Whatever you're doing is exactly right. Just move your eyes slowly with the movement of the feet, walking them in from the toes and then the heels. You could walk them in the same direction. So, walk your feet, both feet, over to the right. moving your eyes slowly as you're doing that. And then over to the left. Moving your eyes as you move your feet, side to side, but in a gentle way. Stop if you're getting agitated or, having to struggle. Pause until you feel relaxed again and then just do a little movement. Follow it with your eyes. Because it's pretty interesting, if now you're slowing down, that's nice. But notice what goes on through your arms and the rest of your body. The counterbalancing that goes on. You lift the heels, if you're going to move the heels out, and then the pressure changes on the pelvis, so the whole skeleton is sliding about in the suit of skin. And there's this, reciprocal movement between the hands and the feet. Now rest there for a moment with your knees up. Notice the rhythm of your breath. The rhythm of your breath. And could you imagine your arms are outstretched out to the side as you breathe in, that you're passing a ball from the right hand and it goes across to the left as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, it comes back from the left hand across to the right. And you can follow that movement with your eyes. As you breathe in, that ball goes from one hand to the other. As you breathe out, it goes back. And maybe, you could imagine catching the ball. And the next time you do it, turn your hand over and pass the ball behind you now. So it, goes through the ground and up to the other hand. And goes behind you now. Or as if you're in space. You breathe in, goes from one hand to the other, you breathe out. It goes back. And now imagine that it's going around in a circle. So as you breathe in, it goes from one hand to the other, and you turn it over, and as you breathe out, it goes behind you. And you catch it with the other hand. As you breathe in, it goes Just imagine it going round your body. In time with your breath. And you could try the same thing with your feet. Imagine as you breathe in, you pass a ball and it goes under the ground in an arc to the other foot. And then as you breathe again, it goes above the ground to the other foot. So imagine a ball passing from one foot to the other in a circle. You could imagine balls in both the hands and the feet, if that's easy. Otherwise, just do one. And now, leave that for a moment. Notice how you lie within your visual field. And now could you lift your hands and your feet into the air? And just begin to move them slowly side to side. And notice how as you move your arms and your legs, the weight of the arms and the legs carries you, it rolls you. Just play with that. You know, you move your legs and then you stop rolling. You continue moving with your legs, you roll. And could you now roll from side to side? And you could imagine as you're rolling this circle of energy around your body. You know, like the ball that you're passing with your breath. Do it in time with your breath. So you roll to one side as you breathe out. You roll to the other side as you breathe in. And there's this ball passing from one hand around your body to the other, or around the body. You roll across your back. And just like that dog, rolling, leaping over the fence, could you imagine now that you're more like that, or like that Shaolin monk, to leap up into the air and then come back down to the ground? Or, you know, as if you could fly and you could jump onto a cliff face and just pause there and then spring off. Fly through the air, notice where you're going to land, and then feel that moment when your feet and your hands touch down. It's rolling from side to side, surrounded by this ball of energy as you breathe, and feeling the pleasure of being able to land softly on your hands and feet. Notice where you're moving. Sense the surface you're going to move to in that moment when you actually choose it, and then orient yourself to land there. And then leave that. Lie down and rest. Well, when you're ready, you could slowly open your eyes. Notice the crispness of your vision and the whole peripheral visual field. How your body is organized within that visual field. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your side and come up to stand. Just as we did in the beginning, notice how it is now just to tune into the way you stand. Stillness of your focus. And, begin to, don't walk, but just go to walk and just feel the, with each leg start and then go to walk, but just feel the counterbalancing that goes on, the way the limbs move together in opposition. And then try walking and see how it is.